Hi everyone, it's Nancy. I'm back to do Roxy's weekly challenge. I'm gonna combine it in one video. I'm gonna do week 10 and week 11. First of all, I want to say welcome back to my subscribers and welcome to any new subscribers to my channel. Thank you so much for supporting me. Okay, so week 10, Rachel made these, what she called, I wrote it down somewhere, hold on, if I can find it, which I can't. Oh, here it is. She made these extra journal spot bundles. It basically, what it is she used some of her old documents in these, but she also used digitals. So you can use whatever you have that you might want to include in a journal to give the journaler, the person that gets your journal, you know, extra pieces of ephemera and journal cards and tags to use for extra journaling space, basically. Or, you know, to use to add to the journal or glue into the journal. Okay, so I was gonna try and make one for my mushroom journal that I've been working on. And like I said in my previous videos, it's a small journal. It's like 6 inches high, and the pages are about, I'd say about 3 3/4 to 4 inches wide. But with that in mind, even I can use this as an extra. Instead of like sticking it in a pocket in the journal, I can just, you know, send it along with the journal. And I do that a lot anyway, so this will be really helpful. So this piece of paper is actually a digital. It's some eco-dye paper from TaylorMade Journals, and I printed on both sides, a different pattern on both sides. And this one measures about 7 1/4 in width and about 8 inches in length. So what she did was she folded the paper in half, or the document, or whatever it was she had, and then she folded it up to make a little pocket like this. Okay, and this will be nice and, you know, nice size for my little mushroom journal. And then she kind of took these little corners, kind of crinkled them up a little bit, to folded them down, make them look kind of vintagey, kind of old, and also to let people know that there's pockets. So basically it makes pockets when you fold it like that. It makes one here, makes one here, there's one here, and then there'll be another one in the front, because the next step she did was she took a strip of paper, and this is actually scrapbook paper, and I wanted to make mine a little bit stiffer, so I glued two pieces of the paper together. And she took this strip and folded it around the little holder that she made. And she secured hers in the back with tape. I'm going to tear this off because I don't need all that. And let me grab my ink pad. I've been using tea dye. I like tea dye a lot, so I tend to, that or vintage photo when I'm doing like a, like a, you know, vintage style journal. Just ink that a little bit so the white doesn't show so much. And then she folded it this way, and I left about an inch or so, and we'll tear that off. I'll put this in my bowl. Okay, so it's like a little band that you can slide off and on. But what I did, she put washi tape, I think, on the back of hers. I took these little Velcro dots. They're thin Velcro dots, and these ones measure, I think, 3/8 of an inch. And they're real lightweight. And I like to use them a lot for like closing envelopes and various things like that. You just tear them apart. That's the hard part. Usually I just end up cutting that. So I'll cut this one. And I'll take it and set those aside so I don't lose them. I usually put the softer part of the Velcro on the top, and the loop part or the hook part on the bottom. So I'll stick this on here like that, and take this off. They're very sticky. They're self-adhesive. You can get them on Amazon. You can get Velcro brand or another brand. Stick that down and move it like that. And that's the band that holds these papers together. These kind of makes these 2 pockets or 3 pockets or 4 pockets. And then with mine, you can just take it off like that, or you can slip it off like a belly band. Okay, and then what she did was she stuffed them with various documents that like she had, and she had like scraps of old documents that she folded up and stuck in. But for my mushroom journal, I don't have a lot of printed books or anything. I just have this one observer's book that I had. So I took this and I folded it, and see how it kind of goes way above the top of that. So I'm gonna fold it up a little bit at the bottom and stick it in there. Actually, yeah, make it so it can go over the top. That's fine if you want that. And then I have a bunch of journal cards that I had, that you cut out. I think these are Tracy Fox. This one, I believe, goes with the kit I'm using, which is Louise Heinzel. I think that's how you pronounce her name. I had this label with a mushroom on it. I had this little tag. And then the other day I was going through a bunch of stuff on my desk, and I found these tags from Levi jeans that I had saved. So I thought they were really cool. They were so tall and skinny. So I covered it with some eco-dye paper and then some vintage lined paper on the back, and then just topped it with some seam binding that I dyed. And I thought that could go in the top pocket there. And you can also stick stuff in here too if you want. And then, let's see, I thought I would put in one of these journal cards in there. And it kind of gets covered up a little bit, but we can pull it out. I know what's happening. It's getting caught on it, so I'm going to fold it this way. Stick that in there, and then this little card, journal card. Pull that up a little bit. And then, I can't remember how I had it all arranged before. Then she stuck things in this little pocket here. So I thought I'd put that in there and this little journal card in there. This is really getting stuffed. She didn't stuff hers as much. And then in the front belly band, that's that little extra pocket I was talking about. I thought I'd put the label. Actually, no. I was going to put the label in this pocket. And then put this little tag in. And then I made up this little glassine envelope, which I sell in my store, these little mini ones. And I stuck a bunch of stickers that I made from fussy cut mushrooms, a little piece of ephemera, I think this is Tracy Fox, another little label, a little Tracy Fox tag with a mushroom on it, and then these tickets. And I can't remember where the tickets came from. They could have been pink monarch prints, but I'm not completely sure. And then I just stuck them in the envelope. And the person who gets the journal can use these to, you know, decorate the journal. And then I put a little mushroom on the front and a little rusted paper clip. I made these last summer, these little paper clips, and stuck that in the pocket like that. Okay, and then on one of them, I'll show you the ones I made. I took this twine that I have and I wrapped it around the front and just tied it. And then you can use this, they as the person who gets the journal can use the twine too to top a tag that they might make themselves, or you know, add it into the journal somehow, but it's just an extra piece. You can tie it in a bow or just one loop. This is all tangled up. And then just cut it off. And tie that knot there. There we go. And then just trimmed it off. And you got a little bundle of, you know, extras to give to the person that gets your journal. So that's an ephemera bundle. And then let me show you the ones I made. I have this one that has a botanical theme. I used a page from a book, a botanical book. And if you take the stuff out, you can see the flower shows like that. And then I put in a page from, I got these from Old Design Shop, the Dictionary of Gardening. And I printed them out and then I backed them with some end papers that she had for free in her website. Stuck that in there. This is from a little book I had on cottage gardening. And I folded it so that image would show. Had a bunch of beautiful images in it. This is a card from a Cavallini and Company. I had a calendar from them a couple years ago and I saved all the images from it. And I stuck that in that pocket. And then this is a label, and I believe this one is from Collage Type. And actually I took the label and made it into like a little journal card. And then I decorated the band a little bit too. So that's that one. This one's botanical too. And again, I took a page from a botanical book and stuffed a bunch of things in it. Ugh. And as you can see, when you take the papers out, you can see the beautiful botanical image. This is from, oh my gosh, Gypsy Journal, I think, on Etsy. And I printed those out, put that in there. And then I got a bunch of garden ephemera from a shop. I can't remember the name of it. I was gonna look and I forgot. So I will put it in the description box below. This is another, piece from the Dictionary of Gardening. And I stuck that in there. So if you don't have originals, like original documents, like Rachel used, you can use digitals. And this is from that ephemera kit that I bought. And like I said, I'll put the link to her shop below. So I folded that up and stuck it in this pocket. And this is another piece from that kit. And I just made it into a journal card. And stuck that in there. And then this is another Cavallini image that I made into a journal card. Stuck a label on the band. And there's this one, this is bird theme. This is a bird from a bird book. I folded it up and then I put in another page from another bird book. This is from an observer's book. This is from one of those observer books from the UK. And this journal card, I believe, is from the old design shop. This one I had from some scrapbook paper of mine. And I cut them up a long time ago. So it was kind of nice to use it. And then I have these vellum images that I printed out a long time ago when I made some vintage bird journals, and I had some left over, but it was slipping below the band, so I took one of my rusty paper clips and kind of secured it to the pocket there, and then that's the back. And then this one is botanical as well. And it's got this is like a greenhouse. And another Cavallini journal card. This is from that kit, at Garden Ephemera. This is a little journal card from Tracy Fox. And these are all digital. So, like I say, if you don't have the original ephemera and, you just can't afford to buy it, you use the digitals and make it look, vintage. And then this one I tied the twine around it and stuck a rusty paper clip on it. So I hope some of those ideas inspired you. And, if you're making journals and you want to include some extras for the journaler, this is a great way to do it. Thank you, Rachel, for the inspiration and the fabulous idea. So that's week 10. And we're going to move on to week 11. And on week 11, she made, let me get my things. She made what she called vellum mini ephemera folders. And basically what she did was she took a piece of vellum, and I believe she didn't give the measurements, but I believe hers were like 8 inches wide and 8.5 tall. She was working from 8.5 by 11, and she tore it off. And I think she tore off like 3 inches from the length of it. So she took this piece and then folded it up like this and creased it and then folded it in half. And that's it. I mean, that's basically the ephemera folder, okay? But she had this little really interesting tool. I looked it up. You can get them on Amazon. It was like a paper crimper. It crimped the pages it crimps like 2 pages together, and she used that to secure the sides of the pockets. And a lot of us, don't have that tool. You can get it on Amazon. Like I said, search for stapleless stapler, no holes, and it'll come right up. And it's less than $20. So in case you want to get one, there you go. But there's other ways you can secure the side. I chose to sew mine with the sewing machine. You can also use double-sided tape. Double-sided tape will show a little bit. I don't know if you can, you can see how it shows through. You can use this 3-in-1 glue or possibly Fabric-Tech as well, and you can glue that shut. But again, this will show through a little bit, even though it's clear. Or you can take a piece of paper or washi tape, grab some here, and you can fold it over the edge like that and glue it on this side and glue on that side, and you can secure the side that way. I saw Edith Ray do it on Scrapbooking with Me. She used paper. You can use washi tape to do the same, idea there. Or the other idea I had was you can take and hand sew it if you don't have a machine. You can take a ruler and line it up to the edge and take a little piercer tool like this and poke holes. I did mine every 1/4 inch. And then take some thread and a needle and just, go through the holes. I love doing this kind of sewing because it's really soothing to me. And then you just sew through the holes. I like the look of it. It's actually pretty cute. It looks when you get it done. So that's another idea of securing the edge of your pocket. Okay, so that's that. I also wanted to say, if you're new to crafting and you're not sure where to get vellum, you can get vellum on Amazon in pads. You can get it if you're in the US, you can get it at all the major craft stores, Michael's, Joann's, Hobby Lobby. You can go in the store and get it by the sheet, where they keep all the single scrapbooking paper sheets in the paper craft department. You can go to their art department and they'll probably, I'm sure all 3 of them have some type of vellum in a pad in the art department. You can purchase it online at scrapbook.com. Just search for vellum and it'll come right up. And you can also purchase it online, like from Joann's and Michael's. But I think with both of those stores, you can't buy the single sheets and have them shipped to you. You have to go in the store to get the single sheets. Okay, so this is our folder. And then I made another one that's already sewn, so I don't have to cut the video out to go sew it. So here's mine that's already sewn. And I thought I'd show you one little trick that I always do. It takes a little extra time, but I didn't want to backstitch into the hole again, especially with vellum, because, then it makes the hole bigger and messier looking. So what I do is I just sew straight from top to bottom, and that's it. And I make sure that the threads I cut off are fairly long, and then I take a needle and I take the thread that's on the top, on the front side, I thread it, and then I poke it back through one of the stitching holes. And then I usually go from the top to the bottom. And then I just take the two ends and tie them in a knot and then in another knot. And that secures them, and it looks nicer. And you can trim them off however long you want. So you can go as close as this and snip them off. And it's nice and secure, and it won't, come unthreaded or unraveled. Okay, so that's the next part she did was, she crimped, I call it a paper crimper. She crimped the pages. Then what she did was she stamped. And she stamped on like the upper part of the folder. And I chose a stamp. Now when I stamp on vellum, the only ink I ever use is StazOn. It's made for, non-porous things like vellum. And it's a solvent ink. Now this brand also makes a pigment ink. You can use pigment inks, but you'll have to wait a really long time for it to dry in the vellum. You can use a heat tool, but you have to be really careful because it can warp your vellum if you get too close with the heat tool. Tim Holtz has a heat tool that's a lot less hot. It doesn't get quite as hot as the other heat tools you'll find in craft stores. His is, and it has a lower speed to it too, so it doesn't blow real hard on the paper. So if I were to heat set it, I would use his heat tool. Or I have a halogen lamp and it gets really hot, so sometimes I'll just take it and hold my paper up to the lamp and let it dry the ink. But with the StazOn, all you have to do is set it aside for a moment or two and it should dry. Today I'm gonna probably try and work with it while it's still a little wet. So I might smear it. So anyways, and then she inked, she stamped on them, and she used script stamps. I can't remember where this came from, but I have this script stamp. I'll show you some others I have. I have this one that's it's a wood block stamp, and it is from Stampendous, and it's like a vintage postcard with handwriting. And then I also have, where are they? It disappeared. I also have this little script stamp that came with the Tim Holtz mushrooms that he has. And I use that a lot too. But you can use any kind of stamp you want. A flower at the top, or even a background stamp. So let me get my paper and we'll stamp this real quick. And that solvent ink has a real strong smell to it too. So, and it dries real quick. The real fast drying ink. This one is olive green. I have black, I have jet black and timber brown as well. Okay. So we got our stamping up now. I wasn't paying attention to covering the complete thing with ink because that wasn't my purpose. You know, if it misses here and there, that's all the better. So I'll lay it down, press it down. Like I say, you can't wait too long before you lay your stamp down because StazOn does dry very quickly. Let me put this back. Okay, and voila. So that was basically the look she made on her stamps, or her little folders. I'm going to set this aside so I don't dip my hands and my elbows in it. And then the next thing she did was she basically put 2 collage pieces on the folder. She started with book page. And so I chose these 2. Like, I think it was like this how I had it. Okay. Like that. So to glue them down, this one first. I never trust glue stick on vellum. Maybe it does stick, I don't know. But I like to use this 3-in-1. That's what I usually use when I'm trying to glue something on vellum. So I'll put some 3-in-1 down. And if it seeps out, you can rub it with your finger or a little eraser tool that I have. It's another thing I use a lot. It's this little, I wish I knew what it was called. I can't remember, but I got it on Amazon. It's it rubs glue off of surfaces. It's really nice. I use it a lot. And I liked how simple she made the whole process. It was just like, I think she made quite a few in like 40 minutes. It was pretty amazing how she makes something so beautiful in such a small amount of time. Okay, so there's our collage pieces, and then I chose some butterflies. And I was thinking, well, one butterfly kind of leaves everything kind of blank. I could put a label there. But then I said, well, what about 2 butterflies and like overlap them like that? It was either a choice between that one, this guy. I thought maybe turn him a little like that, or move him over a little bit more like that, or really add a pop of color and do this red one. So I wasn't sure. I couldn't decide. I often will go with the more neutral, and that's just the way I am, I guess. This is how I thought maybe try something like that instead of a botanical, which I usually use, or a now I printed these on washi paper, which I also got at Amazon. It comes from China, I believe. Okay, so they're kind of translucent, which I thought would be even more interesting because, you know, the book page words will show through. Let's put that one down. And you can decorate it some more. You can put a label at the top, or, you know, when I did my botanicals, when I put a botanical down, it went, you know, way up over the top. You can also check out Rachel's video, which I'll put in the description box below, because she decorated hers. You can get some ideas from her as well. And then I'll put this guy like that. Okay. And I might put some labels at the top. I'm not sure yet. So, okay, there we have our pocket decorated. And then the last thing she did was she punched 2 holes, you know, kind of about an inch apart or more, right up in this top right hand side. And I thought, vellum. I hope, you know, she used a thick vellum. If you use a thick vellum, I'm sure, you know, it'll be fine. But if you use a thinner vellum, you know, you might want to reinforce it somehow. And so I did this. I took just a book page and folded it in half. And then I should have put this glue down on its side. Let's see, I want the top. And just glued this down. Put it right up here. Oop. Like that. And I only put it on one edge. I didn't put it on the bottom edge. But you can put a piece on this side too if you want. And then glue this part down. I forgot to tell you, my computer died on me last week completely. The hard drive went. It's 7 years old. It's an iMac. It had a Fusion hard drive in it, and it just died. So instead of getting a new computer, which is very expensive, we decided to have the hard drive replaced, but Apple wouldn't replace it because it was considered a vintage computer. It was only 7 years old. And so Micro Center has permission to work on Apple computers, and they replaced the hard drive. But now we got it back, and it's the backups we had, which were Timeline and a service that we pay for. It's a long story, but it's taking forever to get the thing up and running again. So I don't have access to any of the digitals. I can get them through my laptop, but, you know, then I have to copy the file and copy it onto my laptop and print it from my laptop. So I think it hasn't been quite that easy. Okay, so then she took, you know, a hole punch. This is, We Are Member Keepers, which is also it sets eyelets as well. And you just punch a hole, 2 holes. Okay. Oh, I did it again. I did it the first time. I forgot to hold both pieces together because you need holes that go through to the back. Just getting the pieces out. So let's do that again. Try to get it right on that hole that we made. And I gotta get this out so I can see where I'm punching. Yeah, so you want to hold both sides together so you don't have to mess it up and punch twice. There. So the holes go through to the back like that. Alright, so I punched my holes, and then she took, I can't remember, I think it was baker's twine. It could have been, you know, twine like this. So she took this, you just, she didn't fill them. you know, basically with the thought in mind that, you know, these are ready to go when you have a journal and you want to, you know, stick in some ephemera, and then stick it in a pocket inside the journal. You know, she said, I think she, you know, with the thought in mind that you'd wait until you knew which journal you were putting it into so you could, you know, handpick the ephemera that you put inside to go with, that goes with the journal. And then she tied them in a bow. I just tied them in a one knot there. So there we go, mini ephemera folder from Vellum. And you know, if you want to stick around, I thought I'd continue to make this one I'm making for my mushroom journal. I have picked out 2 mushrooms, these 2, and I think these are Tim Holtz mushrooms from one of his ephemera packs, and then a label. So I'm just gonna stick those 2 on as my glue kind of exploded on me. And let's see. Oh, we'll just lift it up. That's all. Put this one there. I'm gonna leave that side. I'm not gonna press down on that side because I want this mushroom to go underneath the other one. So you have to think about those things when you're crafting. I have the door closed. I'm just hoping my kitty cat doesn't wake up, because when he does, it's like all about Sam. Immediate tension. Oh, I'm getting glue everywhere. Oh my goodness. Well, I can use my little eraser tool. That's right, it was gonna go underneath. Let me get lift it up. And glue everywhere. Oh my goodness. There, that's better. Yeah. Okay. And I'll rub those 2 spots off later. So those are down. And then this is a Tracy Fox label, I believe. I have a ton of them cut out. And I have gotten labels from other designers, so now they're all mixed up. So it either goes there, but then it'll get in the way of the little closure, so I was gonna put it over here and glue that down. Okay, and then since I used this Edith Holden paper, I thought I'd use that to put the reinforcement on this side. I'm gonna tear it down just a little bit. And I'll fold it in half. Okay, and then I'll rip it together, 2 pages together, so it's even on both sides. And my glue. Yeah, so I really miss my computer. I mean, I do everything on that computer. I have a laptop, but I don't do everything on my laptop, and all my files live on my desktop computer. So There. We should wait till it dries, but I thought this twine would look good. So, make sure that's glued down. Nice and secure. Let me put the top on my glue so it doesn't explode again. And, oh, I almost did it again. Oh my goodness. Okay. Both sides. Top and bottom. Punch. And punch. And some twine. I have to get some more of this thin stuff. I tried pulling apart some 3-ply macrame cord I had, and when I did that, and I got the one strand out, it just kind of pulled apart. So I have to get some thinner stuff. Little knot, loop. Try that. And then I thought this would be fun, you know, for the mushroom journal I have a ton of fussy cut mushrooms, and I could include that in this folder. Extra journal cards I might have that they can add to the journal. So there's the one for my mushroom journal. And that is it for today. Oh, let me show you the rest of a few of the other ones. I made a bunch, but I didn't get them all decorated. And here's one with a bird. And I made. This one I stamped in green. This one I stamped in black, I believe. This is a botanical one. This is actually an herb. It's called monk's hood. So I thought this would be good for the herb journal. And then these two that I haven't decorated yet. This one was stamped with the brown, and then this one. And this one I used 2 stamps. I used this script stamp I have. I think I put that one away. I've had it for a long time. And then I used, this is Tim Holtz. I think the stamp set's called Fragments. And I stamped over the script just to give it a little more interest. And that's it. And look at this, all ready to go for journals, future journals. So thank you again, Rachel, for the inspiration, the great ideas, and thank you for watching, everyone, and stopping by. And I will see you next week for week 12. So bye.